I like the style of play that we play. It's at one point you have to play the style of play that the players you have, but I want to play fast. I want to defend well. I want us to develop well. I want us to have success in the AHL. It's when I say it's vertically integrated, that's what it is, because you can't just have a good NHL team and no, I don't care about the AHL. Like that's your pipeline. You have to move forward. Player development. That's where I think the Tampa Bay Lightning's done an unbelievable job. If you look over the years, like I think last year Tampa had in the top two lines not one first-round pick. You know, so yes, you like first-round picks, especially, I won't lie, I like the first overall. But the reality of it, you have to develop your players.
How about that? Player development.
What a concept. Holy shit. We've been screaming that. The UI and all the patrons are screaming, develop your guys for years. And Lou was like, no, and just like stuck the bird out at us just to spite us. Why won't you develop players, man? It makes no sense. And I'm sure Lou will say that, well, I tried to develop them and I wanted to develop them. I'm sure that was part of his plan. But the proof is in the pudding. You didn't, bud.
No, he didn't. And Mathieu Darche, 20 minutes, not even into being introduced as being the Islanders GM, is like, oh, by the way, coaching staff in Bridgeport, all gone. Yep. They're out.
You're right. And so that was the third tenet of his philosophy, right? I want to play fast, which is music to our ears already because we play as slow as shit. This molasses in January is what we play. Slow, methodical. That's the way Lou likes it. And then second point, defend well. Yep, absolutely. We already do that or try to anyway. So that's great. And then develop. And he says development basically 2 or 3 different ways, right? Like he talks about, I want to develop well. And it's a linear line, right? He talks about NHL, AHL, ECHL. And then there was another one there that he said afterwards. I forget exactly the words he used, but another way to define developing talent. I want to bring them in. And he gives that glowing example. If you look at our top 2 lines and not one of them's a first round pick.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, you want to hit on your first round picks, obviously. And you have a better shot of finding someone the earlier that you're picking. But as we've seen, unfortunately, with first round picks, it's not a guarantee that it works out. Oliver Wahlstrom, Kiefer Bellows, whoever you want to toss out there, right? So it's important to hit on those guys. But, guys who are taken in the mid rounds, it's been a long time since the Islanders have really developed someone like that. Isaiah George maybe showed a little, like some flashes of it. Mm-hmm. But before that, we're talking about, Devon Toews, who was drafted in 2014? Like, that's over 10 years ago already.
It's really barren. And you look at those, when you look at at least what their top 2 lines are right now, there's only 2 guys that were drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning in that top 6. The rest of them were trades. Although I guess Yanni Gourde was technically not a trade. I'm pretty sure they drafted him. But where did they draft him out of? Oh no, he was undrafted.
Even better.
So that's a win. And then, they got Braden Point. That was a draft pick by them. And then Nikita Kucherov, which was a 3rd round pick, obviously, because lulz. Braden Point was a
second, I think?
3rd round pick.
A 3rd round also? Okay.
Braden Point, 3rd round pick in 2014. Nikita Kucherov, 2nd round pick in 2011.
I knew one of them was a 2nd round pick.
Yeah, still 58th overall. Insane. So that speaks to it. Of course, you're looking at those examples 2011 and 2014, but they've had staying power, and then they've supplemented that with the acquisitions. But it really comes to your philosophy is playing fast, defending well, and developing well. And that last point for me specifically, and I'm sure most of you as well, is just music to our goddamn ears.
Yeah, and to just go, we spent a little bit of time there on the developing aspect, which I agree is totally important, but I'm excited to see, too, like making it clear that they want to play fast and they want to play good defense. What does that mean now for the roster construction going forward? And like whether it's their own, pending RFAs and UFAs, who they're targeting in free agency, like I'm excited to see the vision and the next step of this vision, because it's great. Yeah. It's great to say those things, but you have to put it into action, which is something we were critical of Lou the last few years.
Right. And he kind of bakes that into his answer, right? Like he starts off by saying you got to build with what you've got. But he knows that I'm not going to go and say like, y'all have to play fast tomorrow, which is what Lane Lambert wanted to do, right? I want you guys to play fast tomorrow. Well, if you don't have the team to do that, you're going to struggle. And so he baked that into his answer saying like, I understand I want to do this, but I might not be able to do that year one. So as you're saying, how do you create that through your building process? Because John Collins reiterated, I don't know, a bajillion times throughout it, like Mathieu is a builder. Okay. So let's see how he builds this goddamn thing, starting with that first overall pick, obviously.
The first overall pick, which we'll get to in a little bit. The coaching staff too, right? We know Patrick Waugh is coming back, but some other guys on that staff are not. So who do they bring in to, help that philosophy? And, we know that the AHL coaching staff isn't coming back. I would assume Chris Lamoriello is also not coming back.
Yeah, he danced around that one a few times, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, but I would be shocked. I would be absolutely floored if he is back in that role.
Yeah, I think it was Burns who made the comment. I forget exactly in the Discord, going like, usually the GM isn't the one to announce firings of a Bridgeport coaching staff. That's really up to the Bridgeport GM, which is Chris Lamoriello. It kind of tells you that he's not going to be around, which, of course, why would he?
And he also, in his answer to, was saying like, there's a lot of people who are looking for coaches right now. So like, that's where he wanted to start, which, okay, fine. But I also think that leads to, who's going to be the AGM.
Right. That was a nice little tidbit too of like behind the scenes stuff. Like, I did this because I want to give these guys a chance. They're looking for coaches. I don't need this coach, so I need to make that decision for them, type of thing, which is kind of nice. Although like, it's never nice to be fired, obviously, but it'd be nice to be fired when, coaching options are available, instead of being like, here, you're fired, but there are no jobs on the market. Haha. Like, yeah, that'd be awful.
It's like, shit, now what do? I got to sit out a year and wait that someone remembers me next year?
Exactly. And you were in Bridgeport. No one's going to remember that. And poor Rick Kowalski, not only was he in Bridgeport, but Utica as well, that did not do well under him whatsoever. Like, I don't think he's going to get a head coach job right away, but maybe an assistant coaching job. Either way, we know they're not back, which is a bonus. And Mathieu Darche said, we're going to enhance the AHL on any area. All areas are going to be enhanced. So you would effectively believe that means general manager as well.
If you like that, make sure to subscribe to Up the Turnpike on Patreon for more exclusive New York Islanders content.